Are you aware that every 30 seconds, somewhere in the world, someone will suffer an amputation due to diabetes? This is from a publication of The Lancet of 2005. So now in 2016, it's even worse. According to the World Health Organization, half of these amputations can be avoided with adequate detection and care. According to a health survey done in Curaçao in 2013, an average of 10% of people of 18 years and older have diabetes. But more scarily, the incidence of men of 65 or older is 20% of diabetes, and of women, 25%. So we see that there's an enormous increase at an older age. What does that mean? It means that even in this audience, between 5 and 10 years, some people will suffer an amputation because of diabetes. I'm Thomas de Windt, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to talk about an innovative way of doing rehab with patients that go through an amputation. So now you know why. Why amputations? Amputations are caused due to changes in blood vessels and nerves that will cause ulceration. And because of the ulceration, then sometimes limb loss. Diabetes is common in Curaçao because we have it in our family genes. But also our diet. We eat too much satay com batata, com hopi sauce, pork chop, turkey pang, and very little veggies. So, you suffer an amputation. Now what? In other parts of the world, they put you into a rehabilitation center for 2 to 4 months, give you all kinds of exercises. But you won't start walking before your stump has completely healed and it's not swollen anymore. So you get depressed in those 2 to 4 months. But that is not what we do here in Curaçao. Here we bridge the gap. And you can see this lady, she's already walking. And you see that everything is under control. If you have to go through an experience like that, isn't it nicer that you can be walking instead of still being in a wheelchair? Now that makes a big difference. Although you have to realize that it also has a physical impact. And you can also lose your other leg if you're not in motion, if you're not moving about. So this is a system that will provide you that motion and make it possible to give you all the different advantages. You have an advantage, a psychological advantage, because you are already walking, you're not waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're active, you can go home and do your all daily things already. So we prevent that depression. And you also have an economical advantage for the insurances because you have less cost due to less complications because you're actively moving. Next slide, please. So this is an example of how active you can already be in this early stage. This is a chicken farmer and he was eager to go to work. We could give him already exercises to be very, very active. And so he could prepare to start doing his work. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So here you see a stump after 10 days. And look at the date. You see that we are doing this a long time already. And we have a special way of bandaging. Basically, we brought a few things together. A special way of bandaging and the control of the forces in the construction of a temporary leg, where it is possible to walk without having any pressure on your wound area. And in this film you will see this gentleman walking in the same day. And first you'll see how he puts his leg on, and it is a very simple way to put on. This is something you can teach anybody, and then after that you will attach the Velcro straps. So you slide in, attach your straps, and you're ready to walk. And if you look at this gait now, it's not a beautiful gait, but this is the first day, the first time he's walking. And everything is under control. And that freedom out of the wheelchair is a very important item. And now you can see later on what his present situation is. He's a very active person till today. And you can see his gait. He has a very natural gait, everything under control. Even dancing is possible. May I have the next slide, please? Yes, we also have to compare what is around in the world. So if you look at the three systems, you see none of them can be applied between 4 and 10 days after surgery. The first two are standard prostheses that have an inflatable part. You cannot control where the pressure is, so you also get pressure on the areas that you don't really want to have pressure. The third one is a system where you have too much pressure at the end, although it's an individual fabricated leg. We don't have those problems with our legs, our temporary legs. We have no pressure in the wound area, and we have an individual fabricated leg that we control where the pressure is. So, if it comes to an amputation, early rehabilitation is your best chance to a normal life. Thank you very much.